So let's look into the backorder processing. So backorder processing, if you remember that we have one field called delivery priority. Where do we have this field, delivery priority?
Customer master?
Yeah, where is the customer master?
I think shipping.
Yeah, shipping tab in the sales area data. That's where you have the
Yeah.
what we call shipping condition. So at that time, if you remember, we discussed that this is one of the parameter or this field will help us influencing to do the backorder processing. Okay. So let's see what is backorder processing and how it works. Yeah, backorder processing. Backorder processing is important not only for the interview purpose, in the real time also it is important. But coming to the interviews, they may not be asking you the process something. They might be mostly asking T codes coming to the backorder and rescheduling. Okay, so that's what I have seen. Most probably they ask T codes and very important. Okay. So backorder processing. So what is backorder processing? We have two things. If you perform the activity manually, then it's called as backorder. Okay, and the same activity if you are doing automatically, it's called as rescheduling. Okay, so what is back order? Nothing but whenever a high priority customer places an order, if stock is not available, then what we do, we go back to the open orders. What is open order? Order created but not yet delivered. Order created but not yet delivered. So we go to the open orders of the low priority customers, cancel the confirmed quantities of these low priority orders, and assign again that to the high priority customers. This process is called back order process. So if you are doing this process manually, that means a user is going and checking the order, and he has an option there from which order to cancel and to which order it would be allotted. Okay, this process is called back order manually. But if you are initiating system to do this all activity automatically, it's called as rescheduling. Okay. Back order is not possible in two scenarios, and they might be asking also in this question in the interviews. Okay. In what scenarios back order is not possible? That is, if you remember, in the last session we have discussed about fixed date, right? Yeah, fixed date. What is this fixed date is all about in the availability check? If we check fixed date and quantity, then system will not allow you to change the delivery date and confirmed quantities. What system is saying? We cannot change the confirmed quantities. But what is all about back order? Changing the confirmed quantities from low priority to high priority. That means if you activate this fixed date, you cannot perform back order processing. Okay, that's one. And second thing is, if you maintain availability check or checking group as 01 in the Metal Master, if you maintain the checking group as 01, what is 01? Daily requirement. Daily requirement means you don't know for which sales order what quantity is consuming. So you cannot do that. If you maintain individual order, the quantities will be updated into the system uh, sales order wise. So you know for which sales order you want to cancel and for which sales order you want to allocate this. But if you have a checking group 01, it is a daily requirement which will system updates everything into cumulated. So you cannot do that. Okay. So these are the scenarios in which you cannot do the back order processing. Okay. So let's take a client scenario and better discuss this back order processing to understand. Okay. So we have one scenario here. We have two clients. Okay, I'll flip this just a moment. First I'll take up to this. Yeah, so we have a scenario here, that is we have two customers. Who is our customer? One customer. Okay, this is high priority customer. 19 is high priority customer, 219. At the same time we have one more customer, he is a low priority. This is low priority customer and this is high priority customer, 213 and 219. Okay, two customers. And you can see here the 213 low priority customer first has placed an order for 60 quantity. 40 quantity. Okay. Yeah, 213, 110. Yeah, first is 60 quantity. It's done. Next 40 quantity, he has an order. Done. Okay. Two orders has been placed. So how do you process back orders? With a transaction code called V underscore RA. V underscore RA is a transaction code which you use to process the back orders. So now let's see in the system. You can see here customer. Yeah, in here my customer is 65. You can see this low priority customer. Okay, first two are low priority customer orders. Okay, that is nothing but order number 57, 58 is low priority customer and the customer number is 65. Okay, 65 is a customer. So first order 60 quantity confirmed, second order 40 quantity confirmed for the low priority customer. Now a high priority customer who is 70 is placing an order for 40 quantity and the document number is 59. Okay, but what is the confirmed quantity? 0. Why? Because I don't have available quantity. There is only 100 stock and all the 100 stock has been consumed by low priority customer in one order 60, one order 40. Now I don't have quantities. So now what you can do, you can go to V underscore RA. Okay, you can go to the V underscore RA and first what I'm doing, I'm opening this particular second 40 quantity. Why? Because here I need 40 quantity to confirm the high priority customer order, right? And so I'm going to the 40 quantity confirmed order of a low priority customer. The document number is 58 12358 12358. Okay, and the confirmed quantity is 40 here. Click on that. Okay, then what you can do, committed quantity, it will show as 40 by default. Delete it. Okay, delete the committed quantity and just press on this continue button. Okay, so it will show a line item like this. Double click on this line item, the screen will be open. In this screen, this committed quantity, make it blank, remove the 40 and save it. Okay, then after, go to the high priority order. Okay, so what is your high priority order? 59 12359. The document number 12359 is the high priority order. Go there, you see confirmed quantity is 0 actually there. Double click this line item and in the committed quantity earlier it was 0, put 40 there. Okay, mention 40 and click on the continue button. So what happens? The quantity which you have cancelled earlier for the low priority customer in document number 158, that quantity now is assigned to the high priority customer here, and here you see confirmed 0, but here it is 40. So if we see all these orders together, so if you see this all these orders together, earlier the second order 58 document number has confirmed quantity 40, but now the confirmed quantity has become 0. Earlier the order number 59 high priority order was 0, but now it is 40. Okay, so this is what backorder processing is all about. Nothing but cancelling the quantities of low priority customer and giving the quantities to the high priority customer orders. Okay. And,
So, Praveen, if we do this,
yeah,
okay, what will happen to the schedule line of the already confirmed customer?
cancels. You can cancel schedule lines. That's
So
what
it
you're doing
automatically
here.
get canceled.
Yeah, cancel in the sense this particular confirmed quantity and delivery date would be cancelled and system will redetermine it again.
Okay.
So with the latest quantity and latest delivery date, again system will redetermine it in the some other future date or whatever it is. But this particular schedule line is cancelled. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's see rescheduling. What is rescheduling? So the T code here V underscore RV, right? RA, V underscore RA, very important. When it comes to the back order, most probably they don't ask process. Why? Because everyone know process. But in the real time users, how they access this with V underscore RA. Just a minute. Let me run the transaction code. Let's see what it shows. The most thing what the interviews they ask is they ask whatever the users use in a day-to-day activities. Mostly they ask those things because if you need to give training to them, and what is issues or tickets, nothing but what is the daily activity of a user is nothing but a ticket to you. Okay, so I just run the transaction code. Once it open, we'll see it what it is. Okay, but okay, you see back order processing list, give the material, give the plant, just execute, you'll be going there. Okay, let me try. This is what my material, right? 0900. No work is selected. Okay, so there is no orders in my system, but you will be seeing the orders here: customer, document, confirmed quantity, open quantity. So that's what we are seeing here, right? The same screen. You see the same screen: material, customer, confirmed quantity, open quantity. So the same screen, but with values you'll be seeing. So just select. Okay, what are the items you select and confirm. Double click it. Very easy process. Very simple. Okay. So the next is rescheduling. So rescheduling, the transaction code is V underscore V2. Okay, V underscore V2. See, in the interviews, they don't even tell you what is this. They'll directly ask you, what is V underscore V2? What is V underscore RA? Straight away. That's it. Okay, you should tell them, okay, it's a T code for the rescheduling. Like it. Okay. So rescheduling is nothing but doing the backorder processing automatically by the system itself. You want system to initiate and you want to system. Why? Because one order, two orders you can do it manually. Suppose you are creating a million transactions a day, you cannot do it manually. It's impossible. So if you see here, so I have given the path how to do this. V underscore V2 material plant, uncheck the simulation. So how you can do it. So we have two orders here, customer 13 and customer 19. Okay, 219. Okay, 100219 is one customer and 100213 is one customer. Okay, and they have placed an order that is 65 and 670. For first order you can see 100 quantity has been confirmed. Okay, 100 quantity has been confirmed. What system is doing? System is cancelling the quantities from this particular order and giving it to this. You see first order here, new confirmed quantities. Okay, these are the old ones and this is the new ones. You can see the new confirmed quantity. It is 1000. Okay, it's the same process. It will system will take care of for which order it want to cancel and for which order. But what is the basic for the system to get this? Nothing but delivery priority. Okay, in the customer master, what is the depending upon the that's what system takes into the consideration before doing the rescheduling. Okay, so this is rescheduling. So let's go to the new topic, that is TOR, transfer of requirement. Important concept and a major integration between across the modules, not one or two. So TOR, transfer of requirements, and integration between SD, MM, PP, FICO. You can see it's a major integration across the modules, and almost all the modules involved here. Okay, so what is TOR? What is transfer of requirements? So in the standard, what happens? So okay, TOR will be helping us to transfer the sales requirements, that is to MRP, material requirement planning. So in the standard, what happens? When you create an order, you will send the requirements, right? That means in a plant, you will be searching whether this material is available or not. Once after the availability check, okay, I have in the next slide those things I can explain better there. Yeah, you see here a customer place an order for X material 1000 quantity. System done the TOR, but it just transferred the MRP requirements in the plant. The stock is available. What happened? Yes, if stock is available, delivery, invoice to the customer, okay, and you receive the payment for customer. So this is standard OTC process. We know everything is fine if the stock is available. But what if the stock is not available? Stock is not available. What happens? They'll run an MRP. What is the T code to run MRP? Anyone? Very important interview question. T code to run MRP. MD01. MD01 is T code to run MRP. We have seen, right? MRP type, MRP controller. MRP controller is the person who is responsible to run the MRP. We covered it in the Material Master. So they'll run the MRP, so that system will find out whether we have raw material to manufacture this particular X material. If raw material available, production starts, finished goods come out, delivery to the customer, again invoice to the customer. Say suppose if raw material is not available, in this case what to do? A PR and PO would be raised to the vendor to supply of raw material. Once the raw material is received to the plant, production starts, finished goods is ready, you deliver the goods to customer, you invoice the customer. Okay, so this is what all about in a standard OTC process, how the transfer of requirements work. Okay, after availability check, if the quantities are not available, what activity will happen? This activity. System will run the MRP, find out raw materials, and the system will transfer the requirements. Okay, so prerequisites. As we have some prerequisites for availability check to be performed, so for the TOR also we have some prerequisites. What are those? That is standard, already we have looked into. In schedule line category, you should activate a requirement assembly and availability check. This is the same prerequisite for availability check also. Okay. In requirement class, requirement check requirement and availability. This is also the same thing in the last session which we discussed. Requirement should be determined into a sales document. And what is the criteria to determine a requirement type into sales document? That is nothing but strategic group, MRP group, item category, MRP type. So both same. Okay, prerequisites are same, but one extra there, which is a checking group and checking rule. We don't have it here. Okay, so we have some requirement types and class, very important. In the interviews also they may ask you what is the requirement class for IPO process. Requirement class for IPO process is KEB. Okay, so 041 and 11 are KE as a standard. KL is a standard. Make to order requirement type is KE and KEB. For IPO, it's both same, KEB, KEB. Okay, so let's look into the standard configuration. Let me go to the SPRO. So sales and distribution, you will also see this in basic functions. So go to basic functions. Basic functions. Yeah, in the basic functions, you will be having availability check and transfer of requirements. So this is availability check and transfer of requirements. Select this. Go to the TOR. So first is defining these all things, like defining requirement class, types, these all things. So I have everything in my document screenshot wise. You see transfer of requirements like this. Okay. So define requirement class and type. See, in the real time, you will never get a chance to create or define new requirement types and class. You will be going with the standards. You will not create a new requirement type or requirement class in the real time. You see, in real time, we will not change the requirement type and requirement class. It's a standard. We don't do that. We don't change anything. Okay. So in the interviews, don't tell them that you defined a new requirement class or something. Okay. Yeah. So first we'll go for requirement type, then we'll discuss requirement class. Why? Because It is something like when you create an order, first requirement type should be determined into sales document. Requirement type will help us to determine requirement class. Requirement class actually controls how you want to transfer these MRP requirements. Okay. First, requirement type should be determined into sales document. Then after, requirement type will help us to determine requirement class, and requirement class will help us to control how you want to transfer the requirements. Okay, that's controlled by the requirement class. Okay. Yeah. So what's the criteria to determine the requirement type? Let's see. Click on the IMG activity. Yeah, the standard requirements 011, as I told you, it's for the standard. 041KEB is for IPO. Okay, we don't have any controls for this. Requirement class will have controls, but requirement type we don't have controls. Okay, so this requirement type should be determined into the document. Okay, so come back and requirement class. Okay, requirement class. You see, requirement class has some controls here, and requirement class here is nothing but this is like a global universal activation. If you activate something at the requirement class level, it would be applicable in all the places wherever it should be. Okay, so here you will be telling whether you want to perform availability check. If quantities are not available, then whether you want to do you want to transfer the requirements for manufacturing or not. Everything is controlled at the requirement class level. That's what just I told you. Requirement class actually controls how you want to transfer the MRP, whether you want to transfer the MRP or not. Okay, so let's see what requirement class controls. If you see standard OTC process, what you do, you will perform availability check, and if quantities are not available, you will send the requirements, right? But if you take IPO process, what is IPO process? KEB, right? Yeah, KEB, not KEB, 040. Okay, so here we have availability check and requirement, but you can see for some it is switched off. Availability check is switched off. Directly system is transferring the requirements. In mostly in the make to order scenarios, you do it right. In a make to order scenario, what is the scenario? You don't even have raw materials. Okay, you don't manufacture the goods and you keep it. Okay, so you don't want to perform availability check, you directly want to do the TOR. So you can control it from the requirement class, global controlling from the requirement class. That is nothing but you can tell system whether to perform availability check or not, and if after performing the availability check, if quantities are not available, whether you want to do the TOR or not. So that's controlled here. And we have some controls looking into this particular KEB and 040. So let us discuss this. So 040, make to order, the requirement class, go to the controls. If you remember in the item category, what is the item category for make to order? Anyone? Make to order, item category. Item category, not item category group. 0001 is item category group, which you find in the middle master, but item category.
Is it TAN?
TAN is for standard item. See, these are very important. If you don't know item category means, you cannot give solutions or configurations. Why? Because you don't know what fields or what values are maintained there. So you don't know. Okay, if you don't know item category means you don't know the concept itself. So please be perfect with the basics. TAK. TAK is make to order. So very important item categories. Most of the solutions you give at the item category level. So if you go to the make to order, special stock indicator E actually, okay, this should be E. We have one special stock indicator in the item category level, and we are having one more special stock indicator at the requirement class level. You see special stock indicator E at the requirement class level. Okay, what these two controls? If you go to KEB, what is KEB? Requirement class for IPO. If you see in the KEB requirement class IPO, you are having a special stock indicator E here. At the same time, if I go to the item category, what is the item category for IPO? Anyone? Item category for IPO, individual purchase order. Tab, TAB. If I go to tab, IPO individual purchase order, I have a special stock indicator here. That means both for make to order, that's the reason generally most of the time I talk in technical language. Okay, that is I represent always make to order as TAK, IPO as TAB because at least you can remember. So it's very important. Don't forget your basics at any time. So just remember those. As I told you, right, take a printout of something in my document which has all the details. Take it. Okay, IPO. At the item category level, I have a special stock indicator. At the requirement class, what is the requirement class for IPO? Sorry, make to order 040, and this is KEB. In the requirement class also we have a special stock indicator. So what this special stock indicator means? That is, let me check. I don't have image here. See, certain things what I'm telling to take a printout, please take it as a printout. Why? Because that will save you in the telephonic interviews. First interview of your any SAP interview is nothing but telephonic interview. Okay. So many people has been benefited with this. Take a printout of this all business process or whatever I say as a take a printout, stick it somewhere, it will save you in the telephonic interviews. You will not feel that pressure. Okay, so this is IPO process. So what is IPO process? A customer has placed an order to the company. Okay, say suppose this customer number is 101. A 101 customer has placed an order to company asking X material 100 quantity. Okay, and the order number is say 01. 01 is the order number. So 101 customer has placed an order for X material 100 quantity and you are taking it with an order 01. So IPO process, what you do? You don't manufacture the goods, right? You procure it from the vendor and deliver it to the customer for some margin. A PO has been generated and vendor has sent you the goods. When vendor has sent you the goods, you captured it through the MyGo. You received it through the MyGo. Okay. So what this particular requirement class, the special stock indicator E controls is, whenever you receive some goods in IPO process from vendor and when you capture that stock with MyGo, this X material 100 quantity, right? Why you procure this 100 quantity? Anyone? Why you procure this? Because a customer called 101 has placed an order for X material 100 quantity with a sales order 01. This is only the reason you procured this 100 quantity from vendor. If this particular order is not there, you will not procure this, right? So that's the reason what is requirement class special stock indicator E controls is, whenever you do MyGo in the IPO process, system will reserve the stock against the sales order. Okay, system will reserve the stock against the sales order, which will happen same with make to order also. Why you are building this particular Rolls-Royce car, or why you are manufacturing this particular transformer? Because some companies specifically with their specifications, they have ordered you a product to manufacture. That's the reason you are manufacturing these goods. Once after manufacturing these goods, will you sell these goods to anyone else? You cannot do that. Why? Because the material which you manufactured is with specifications of specially for this customer, and these specifications may not suit with other customers, right? So whenever you manufacture these goods in make to order process, or when the IPO process, whenever you procure these goods is reserved against this particular sales order. Is that clear? Is it clear up to now what we discussed? Right? That is controlled by, this particular is controlled by special stock indicator E in the requirement class. But what requirement class, what is the special stock indicator in the item category is controlling? So in the item category, the special stock indicator E is controlling that at any point of time in the make to order or IPO process, if you are delivering the goods to customer, what materials you want to deliver? The materials which is already reserved. Okay, when the time of my go, whatever the stock you reserved against the sales order. So when you are doing delivery with reference to the sales order, you should consider only the stock which you reserved already. That's controlled by special stock indicator E in the item category. Okay, very important interview question. For sure they will be asking this in the interviews. Okay, yeah. So requirement 040, what it controls? The special stock indicator E in 040 requirement class will control that in make to order process, the sales order requirement will be transferred to the MRP as a special stock indicator, and that is the reason whenever you manufacture finished goods, the stock will be reserved to the particular sales order number against sales order number. And how do you upload this stock? In initial stock uploading, moment type 561, but you will be having an option there to enter sales order number. Okay, special stock. This stock will go and sit under on orders hand, on hand orders or on order hands. There is a block. Okay, MB1C, you go to the goods receipt or initial stock upload. You see special stock. You generally we don't mark the special stock for unrestricted stock when you use movement type 561, but in the case of IPO and make to order, you will be selecting this special stock indicator so that later you can use document number, sales document number, so that this stock will reserve against that particular document number. Okay, and requirement class KEB and special stock indicator E, what it controls? The requirement class special stock indicator E in the requirement class KB controls that whenever you do MIGO in IPO process, the stock will be reserved. System will reserve the stock against that particular sales order number. So that's what it is controlled. Okay. This requirement class is nothing but it's controlling whenever you are receiving the goods, it is reserved against the sales order number. Okay. See, in standard actually the account assignment category is E. You can see this account assignment category. What generally account assignment category controls? Whether to raise a accounting entry document or not. Okay, in standard actually it would be E, but if you maintain E, you see lot of costing block here. CO module is there here, lot of costing module, CO. So if you go with the standard E, let me check, 040 also it is E, I guess. Yeah, E. So change it to M. Okay, change E to M to see the result in the IDES system. Why? Because E means without with CO, M means without controlling module. So we don't have controlling module here. Right? You see, M without CO module. E means standard with CO module. So in IDES we don't have CO module, so that select M. Change this E to M if you want to see the result in the IDES system for both the process change it to M. So in requirement class we have costing block, which is an integration between the CO consultant, but CO consultant has to maintain this method. We don't have a CO consultant here, right? Okay, so what you'll be maintaining, costing variant, costing sheet, lot of things you'll be maintaining. So just change that E to M in the IDES system. For you can see the result. Yeah, so okay, that's the reason it's not changed in the see, let me try this. If I change it to M, it will not allow, it should not allow. Okay, why? Because it can be done only by the CO consultant, but if it comes to the IPO process, I can do it. Okay, if it comes to the IPO process, it's already changed anyway there. You see, I have changed it to M here. Okay, that's what I have written here, saying that we cannot remove E in the 04 requirement class. If you want to do it, only CO consultants can do it. Okay, so transfer of requirements, it's a major integration between SD, CO, MM and PP, and availability check is an integration between SD, MM and PP. So let's go to the next configuration. Okay, come back after requirement class, come back. So next is determination of requirement type using transaction. Okay, this is nothing but the prerequisite. Okay, the prerequisite requirement type by assigning the requirement type by transaction. What is the transaction? Select your item category plus MRP type, item category TAN plus MRP type, PD planning. This is what how a schedule line is determined, right? If I take PD standard 041, if I take ND also, it should be the same 011. Okay, so ND means it is 011, which we don't have requirement transfer, but here we have a requirement transfer 041. Okay, so with the combination of item category and MRP type, you assign the requirement type here. As I told you, it's a standard, you don't need to change anything. The next, define procedure for each schedule line category, same. Okay, go to the schedule line category, say suppose your standard CN and CP. So you see for CN, both availability check and the requirements are switched off. That's the reason you cannot perform availability or you cannot perform requirement for this particular, no MRP, it itself says. But where it's controlled? It's controlled here, unchecking both. But for CP, both are activated. That means you perform availability check and you can transfer the requirements. Both you can do. Come back. Next, block quantity confirmation and delivery blocks. What is this? Okay, delivery reason. See, sometimes you block orders, right? Because customer's credit limit has been exceeded. Okay, or for some reasons you will block orders. So I explained everything much better in my document actually. You can just give some good reading, you can easily understand. Okay, so origin, where do we see this? Just a minute, I missed something here, I guess. Determination by oh, this is this. Yeah, okay. See, what is the standard prerequisites we have? What is the prerequisite? See, requirement type should be determined into sales document. But what is the criteria to determine a requirement type into sales document? First, system task search in the strategy group, then after MRP group, then after item category plus MRP type. What is item category plus MRP type? That's what we are seeing here, right? Item category plus MRP type, right? So in your project, your client saying that the first criteria to determine a requirement type into sales document, system should check item category plus MRP type, but not strategy group. I want this to be in the first place. First, system should check this combination. So how can you do that? You can change that in the origin here. For any combination, you maintain 1. then system will give first preference to this combination, that is item category plus MRP type. This field is origin, so origin of requirements. So the origin of requirement should be first considered with this combination called as item category and type. So that's what I just given in the document here. You can see this line scenario. If client should asking give first preference to item category to MRP type, how it will do that? In the combination TAN and PD, give just one. That is nothing but origin of requirement as one. Okay, so we looked into this block quantities. Okay, so blocked quantities. Reason, we have some standard reasons, but you have other reasons. So why you are blocking? Credit limits, any political reason, any bottleneck reasons, okay, or you cannot print. So many reasons you would be having, and SAP has given some standard. So here you can control actually whether you want to do picking or you want to do goods issue or not. At the same time, whether to confirm or not in these reasons. Okay. So double click on the block reason and criteria. So in this configuration, what you'll do, you can check confirmation block to the delivery block reasons. If you check confirmation block, then system will cancel the confirmed quantities. Why? Because this order is blocked. So what is the point in confirming the quantities? So system will cancel the quantities for any blocked orders. Okay. If any order is blocked by some reason, system will not confirm the quantities. You can control it here. Why? Because there is no point in confirming the quantities for a blocked orders. Then after maintain requirements for transfer of requirements. And this is two important interview questions here. We have 101 and 102 two standard requirements. 101 is for the IPO purpose and 102 is for the credit purpose, I guess. Yeah. So let's see first what is 101. See, maintain this. This is what we are seeing now. While creating a sales order, if order is blocked for credit, because of a credit limit, the customer's order is blocked. Okay. So system automatically cancels the confirmation. How system is cancelling the confirmed quantity of a blocked order? By reason credit. That is the standard requirement 101. Okay, 101 we have a requirement. With this requirement, system is able to cancel the quantities. 102. Okay, 101. Yeah, that's it. The next is 102, maintain requirements for purchase and assembly orders. Purchase means IPO, individual purchase order. That is 102. So what system do in this case of purchase and assembly orders? That is, see, whenever you are creating an order, suppose say IPO process we just looked into. What is that? Whenever customer places an order, a PR and PO is automatically raised, right? So in the IPO process, what system will do is, if you maintain this one requirement 102 block, system will not raise a PR. Okay, so if you don't raise a PR, there is no point of PO and there is no delivery of goods or anything. Okay, so in third party or IPO process, if order is blocked for credit, system should not generate a PR. So why? Because in third party and IPO, if the order is blocked by credit, what's point raising a PO to vendor and getting the goods? It's waste, right? So system should not generate a PR. How? That is, the requirement is 102. Okay, 101 and 102, both requirements. So this is for the standard orders and this is for the IPO and third party orders. Okay. So let's see some PP configuration as I discussed, like it's an integration between SDM and PP, right? So it's a standard, you need not to do anything there, just go there, see it, come back. So let's go to this menu path of PP. Okay, so that's it in the TOR. We finished the TOR. Okay, so let me go to the PP module. production planning, demand management, demand management, plant independent requirements. Plant independent requirements, planning strategy, planning strategy, define strategy. So how you want to perform the availability or not, the strategy is given here. So suppose select this and go to the details. You'll be having, you see, availability check here and requirement transfer, whether you want to do it or not. You'll be given. So this is no planning, both are off. Make to order stock consumption product. Okay, select this and check. Even blank take this. Okay, we have this make to stock. Yeah, sorry, this is a make to stock. That is, you manufacture, you perform availability check, you transfer the requirements. So this is where it is controlled actually. Okay, this is a PP integration which would happen. So this is make to stock. If I go to make to order, we always discuss, right? This is nothing but strategy group. Do you remember strategy group? Anyone? Do you remember? 20 is for make to order. Make to order production. Shall I show you? I don't know. See, you should really recall it back. MM02. If in that position, then only you can excel. Like either it's in the job or in the interviews. We discussed, right? Strategy group, MRP group, item category plus MRP type. So strategy group, we already discussed it actually. Who maintains it? PP consultants. You see, this is the field I'm talking about, strategy group. If it is 10, make to stock. You see, make to stock production. If it is 20, make to order. I hope I already discussed this. You might be remembering. Make to order production. So from where this is controlled from the back end. In the PP module, you have a lot of controls for each strategy group. You see 20 make to order production, and here they configure everything and they maintain it there. Okay. So this is what the PP configuration. So once you go there, we have two things. If you want to only perform availability check, you don't want to do the TOR, you don't want to do the transfer of requirements, you want to only perform availability check, then in the schedule and category and the requirement class, activate all four: requirement availability at the requirement class level and schedule line level. But if you want to perform only requirement transfer of requirements, you don't want to perform availability check, then activate only requirement and requirement, don't activate availability check, so that system will not perform availability. Okay, so that's it. We finished about TOR, and next class would be credit management, major integration between SD and FI. So we are very close to finish our SD concepts. So hardly another 4 classes we will finish SD concepts. 1 week, most probably by 30th we will finish all SD concepts and business process. We will be left out only with the advanced concepts, which we will either go with regular session or a weekend session. Okay, so any questions?